Look, I love Mordhau, and I would probably say it's one of my favourite games at the moment, and possibly one of the most enjoyable experiences I've had in gaming, full stop. The amount of hours that I've put into it already is extremely concerning. But I made so many videos promoting and being positive about the game, so I thought I'd rip it to pieces. I'm joking, of course. Of course I'm joking. This is more of a feedback video for the devs and just some of my thoughts in general and some of the players that I know playing it and putting everything basically in one place. Some of the flaws of the game. While I think it's a fantastic game and it's done what it does so amazingly, of course there are a few issues that have been bugging me, and I hate to be that guy complaining, and I know it must be annoying for the devs being such a small team, hearing from every which way what they could do, what they couldn't do. Honestly, I just wanted a video idea, and I thought this would be a fun video that people would want to see, so don't take it too seriously. First off though is server browsers. Now server browsers were notorious on release. There were so many complaints on reviews and things like that about these server browsers. But on the most part, they've probably been fixed somewhat. I mean, I would say the browser itself is still one of the biggest issues though. It has been a lot better now than it was before. Now there's been some patches that's fixed some annoying things, but there's still no server favoriting, which I do feel like should be a basic thing on a server browser, being able to favorite your favorite servers, because there's so many times when I want to play in a server that I played before, or even my own server, that I can't favorite it. I've got to search for it every single time, and the recent tab rarely works, so that's an issue that I really think needs to be put in pretty soon. I mean, I do feel like server favoriting is one of the most basic things on server browsers, but I don't doubt that won't be put in very, very soon. They seem like they're all on these little things like that. Also, tying this into the matchmaking, how to get into a server, I would say matchmaking is pretty much useless at the moment. I don't know many people that actually use it, because you just go into the server browser and you can see who's on it. Using the matchmaking is such a hit and miss thing. Yes, it is a little bit better now, but it's still such a hit and miss thing actually trying to get into servers through the matchmaking methods. I just want to say though how much it has improved from before. It took so long to load, but now it is so much better. But let's talk a little bit about the servers themselves. Now, of course, like I said, and I'm going to be repeating myself, there has been so many improvements from launch, as you would expect. The devs are doing great jobs of updating it, but we're still getting some ping jumps around, but that's something that can be fixed, and that is definitely something I'm sure they're working on, but these can be pretty deadly in battle. But as I said, mostly fixed now, which is great. They've also done some great things in the latest patch, such as reserving server places. I know it was a bit of a complaint where you'd go and join a server, but if it took too long for you to join, you'd load up the game and then you'd get kicked out because it was full because someone loaded it quicker. Now, if you click to join, it reserves your place in the game. So let's say there's 63 out of 64 people on a server, you click the join button, it instantly reserves it, so as you're loading in, no one's going to take your place and you won't be kicked out, which I think is probably one of the best things that they've added in the new update. Alongside this, they also add in some little party member icons, so if you have a party, they fixed it where when you go into battle you can actually see who's in your party, so it's easy to identify your friends. But also it does this with Steam friends, one colour for party members and one colour for Steam friends, and I think that is a great thing. But speaking of servers, the capacity is way too goddamn low. I mean, honestly, back in the Chivalry days, 32 versus 32 was incredible, but I do feel like in this 2019, 32 versus 32 is pretty small, especially if you want to have people playing this for long amounts of time. Because yeah, well, going into a public match with 32v32 is fine, it's great fun, but if you want to do any sort of clan battles, it completely limits how many people you can get into the server. I mean, if we wanted to do a clan battle, we'd have to probably split our clan up into 4 or 5 different servers to fill up one side, and then each clan fills it out, which, yes, I know we have weirdly, and it is our fault for making the clan too big, but even for smaller clans, having just 64 people on a server, I still feel is a little small. But I did talk to Marox, who is one of the developers on Mordhau, and he did say that they're hoping to raise that sometime soon, after all the server stuff is fixed that's on right now, which I think is a great thing, because of course it would be stupid to put the capacity before the servers right now aren't completely and utterly stable. Now, whilst I've been having so much fun on the maps that are in Mordhau at the moment, I do feel like they get a little bit stale. There seems to be a rotation of 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 maps that you can play in, and yeah, they're all great. The map design is incredible in this game, but obviously new maps would really help keeping players in, but not just new maps. If they're increasing the capacity, probably bigger maps. Also, hopefully, I think we might be getting a siege mode soon, so there'll be new maps coming with that. We did see, if you want to go and watch my video from a few days ago, that they're actually adding in new maps. Now we saw some screenshots of the new map that's coming in, which does look great. It does look a bit bigger. It's not quite an open one, it's more of a town city sort of map, but it looks like the maps is something that they're really trying to focus on, because that's going to keep players in to no end. Furthermore, let's talk a bit about the character customization. While there's a lot of stuff to do, there's a bit of an issue with completing it. And I know that might sound strange to some people, but there's one class that I play 100% of the time. Now, I have made other classes, but I very rarely use them. And because of this one class, I've probably got 50-60 hours on. I've basically completed the customization in this. I've got nothing else to buy. I've got about 30 grand in terms of coins and nothing else to buy. So I don't really know. This is probably a terrible point, because I don't know what you could add to buy other than just new skins and new weapons, which I know that they're doing. But there's so much money in this game that you earn. Maybe you earn it a bit slower, but I have so much money and I have no idea what to do with it. So the customization, while it is great and in-depth, and I mean no microtransactions, which is goddamn amazing in a game in 2019. Incredible. You have customization and coins and no microtransactions. Good job on you, Mordhau. But yeah, as I was saying, maybe a few more things to do with your money. Now, this is something that is going on to not the everyday player of Mordhau. Something that doesn't really affect the public player that just wants to go and have a chill time, but I'm going to talk a little bit about my experiences with leading a clan and trying to do clan battles with other clans and things like that, and that's clan integration throughout the game. There's almost none of it at the moment, and honestly, modding and clan integration and having community is what keeps games alive. You won't keep a game alive without it. And at the moment, if it is like this forever, it'll still be possible to do it, but it's just not an enjoyable experience having to sort all this stuff out. I mean, there's no tag system. You can't create profiles. Think of a game like Mount & Blade, where you go into the game and you can create a profile with, you can put your clan tags on and your name and things like that, and then you can go into battle with that. Mordhau just takes it from your Steam name, which yes, a lot of games do, but with a medieval game like this, it's often extremely important to be able to tell who's in your clan, and honestly, people don't want to be changing their Steam names because they use it for other stuff. So maybe having some sort of profile system where you can put tags on your character, so you can have like maybe your clan name, your rank, and then your name after it in the game, but you don't have to change your Steam name. A bit like Mount & Blade does it. That works really, really well. And into this sort of some easier admin controls. Adminning a server is hell, honestly. It is one of the worst experiences I've had in adminning any server in any game. There's no unlimited turn timer, so when you go into a battle, let's say you're doing a death match for some training or something with a clan, and you just want to have a death match and people can fight each other and do separate bits, every 20 minutes the timer runs out, which means that you have to reset the map completely. Or, I should say reset the map. That should be possible, but it isn't. The reset map command does not work, meaning that as the timer runs out, you've just got to vote for the next map, load into it, and then go back into the admin commands and change it back to the map before, which takes a long, long time and is just the most ineffective way of doing it. So some great admin controls, some easier stuff, maybe just a little menu even instead of having to type in the commands, but even the control panel isn't the issue. Typing in commands is fine. I've sort of got used to that now. But there's also a way that this isn't useful. With the banning or kicking, typing in control panel for kicking and banning people is just a no-go. It's not possible. People come on the server, a dual server, and they come and just fight free-for-all people against the rules on a dual server, ruins everyone's duels, and it is just hell, and people just get pissed off. People always ask me to kick and ban them, and I'm just like, I can't. I literally can't. When you're trying to kick someone in this game, the command is kick, space, player name, but you have to type in the exact characters and the exact lowercase or uppercase letters for that character. So if someone's got the name like John or Tom, it's easy. I can kick, ban them, easy peasy. If someone has a foreign name with foreign characters, someone came on with a Chinese name, they started team killing people, nothing I could do, literally nothing I could do. because I don't have those characters on my keyboard. I can't type that in, so they can't be kicked or banned, and it's such a terribly annoying exploit. If someone has a complicated name or a name with characters that can't be typed on my keyboard specifically, we're screwed. You can't kick, you can't ban them, you can't do anything with them, and if they're a troll, it just ruins the game for everybody. So maybe when you press tab as an admin, being able to click on the people's names and kick them from there, that would be so much easier and so much less stressful, because this is probably one of the things that annoys me most in the admin controls here. Now, the frontline mode is one of the biggest modes. It's basically what most people play in this, and it is incredible. It's chaotic, it's insane, it's bloody, and it's a ton of fun. But there have been a lot of complaints about playing balanced games. I mean, you have red and blue, and I think it's pretty much every map except from Grad. The red is in a disadvantage. Mountain Peak, red's got a disadvantage. Tiger, red's got a disadvantage. Camp, red has a disadvantage. Actually, no, red might have the advantage in camp. I think red actually has the advantage in camp. But in each map, there's one side, red or blue, that has the advantage. And everyone knows it, so everyone wants to get that team. If you're playing Mountain Peak, everyone wants to go blue, because it's so much easier to win as blue on this map. And yes, while a lot of the time you can push back and the other team can win, especially if you've got a group of friends, well, most of the time, only if you have a group of friends. If I go on with my clan and we go on, let's say, the red team on Mountain Peak, we win most of the time because we've got a whole team working together. But if I'm playing with pubs on Mountain Peak and playing as the red team, 90% of the times the blues will win, and a lot of the time completely destroy us. The maps, while they're made great, there's something about them that just favors one side, and I think, yeah, that can be sort of got around, because with casual play it doesn't matter all that much, and when you're doing it competitively in clan battles you can switch sides. It would be nice to have some sort of balance in it there. And my final points about the maps is the skirmish mode. Now, this is the best mode for clan battles. It's a bit like the battle mode in Mount & Blade. You get one life and that's it. But at the moment, the skirmish modes use really small segments of the maps, and it'd be really nice to be able to just use bigger maps, because if you have 32 versus 32 in a skirmish mode, you're going to take up the whole map. There's just not enough room to get everywhere. So that's a small thing that but maps and modding is coming in very soon, eventually at some point anyway, so hopefully that can be fixed, bigger maps and things for skirmish mode, or even just using a bigger segment of the map, because yeah, on camp with skirmish you only use a tiny section of the map, otherwise you go out of bounds. All in all, I have done a lot of complaining in this video, and I think I'm okay, because I've done so many videos saying how much I love this game, and I goddamn do love it. But of course, every game has its issues, and whilst it is good to give feedback, pushing the devs and just complaining all the time isn't helping them at all. And I know you might say I'm being hypocritical, slightly, yeah, but I would take this video as more of an entertainment video and just thinking of my opinions rather than something saying, oh, you have to do that to the developers. I'm a YouTuber, don't take me too seriously. People complain about shields being OP or spears, things like that, but there's a counter for every single weapon, defense, armor in the game. Even the perks, there's a counter for all the perks. So I don't think those things need to be changed all that much. Maybe a few tweaks here and there, but I think they're pretty spot on, and I see so many people complaining about people using shields, people using rapiers, people using spears. If you know how to counter them, they're easy. And you know how you learn how to counter them? You practice. It's just, when you practice, you get better, and it's easy enough. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave your comments down below of what you think about the game. What things would you like to see? What do you think they do well? I would love to read them below. But make sure you leave a like on this video. It will really help the channel. Make sure you subscribe. And until then, guys, I will see you in the next one.